was admitted to urgent care after she swallowed her own engagement ring. Jenna Evans said it started with a vivid dream about being on a hijacked train. In it, her fiancé told her to swallow her ring, so she did, not just in the dream. After a quick medical procedure, the bride-to-be was reunited with the ring, and now she says she takes it off before going to bed. But she woke up, got a glass of water on her nightstand, put the ring in her mouth like a pill and swallowed it. She was dreaming. I'll have what she's having.
Yeah.
All right, that's our... We'll see you back here again tomorrow. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, dispatchers are seeing an increase of 911 calls at theme parks. We'll tell you what they think is behind it.
Edgewood College is planning on laying off faculty for next year, why the interim president says this is necessary.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
We do have breaking news just into our Channel 3000 Alert Center. According to court documents, Christopher Capeham, the former NICU nurse at Meriter Hospital, accused of abusing several infants, is prepared to enter a plea. He is facing 19 felony charges, accused of abusing 9 babies born at Meriter from March of 2017 through February of 2018. Sauk County Sheriff's Office is reporting an increase in 911 pocket dials. Now, the catch here is it's happening while people are at amusement parks.
Gabriella Becerra shares why dispatch thinks this is happening.
Cell phones are more accessible today than ever before, so people keep them in their pockets wherever they go. And so sometimes, like even on a roller coaster, they might pocket dial 911. Dispatchers say it's all about listening to hear if it's a real emergency.
You just have to really listen to see what they're saying, if there's a true emergency or what's going on.
Dina Weinke answers 911 calls at Sauk County Sheriff's Office.
If there is a true emergency, we find them and get them the help that they need.
Weinke says the number of overall pocket dials increased by 75 to 100% in the last 5 years.
We can hear them in their pocket or a bag, and you can hear them walking. Other times you can hear them on amusement rides, where you can hear them screaming and laughing.
But sometimes those noises can be hard to decipher of a true emergency, so they locate the caller.
We can locate where they are, and most of the time during the summertime, we can locate them on an amusement ride up in Lake Dalton.
And even after they've seen that they're at an amusement park, dispatchers will still call back to confirm they're okay.
We take every 911 call serious. We listen. If there's no sound at all, we stay on the phone a good 45 seconds to a minute just to hear anything in the background. And if we can't hear anything, we disconnect and we call back.
Dispatchers treat every call like it's a true emergency, so it's important to put your phone in a place where it's less likely to make a pocket dial call, especially when you're at a place like the amusement park. In Lake Delton, Gabriella Becerra, News 3 Now.
And the Sheriff's Office also recommends that you make sure your phone and your smart watches are locked so that calls cannot be made.
The man hit by a vehicle during a hit and run on Madison's north side last week has died. Police say the 60-year-old man from Brooklyn, Wisconsin, was walking along the 1700 block of Northport Drive around 10 Thursday night. Officers are still looking for the driver who ran into him. Detectives say there's little surveillance footage they have. It only shows a dark-colored sedan hitting the man. Police believe the car involved will have significant front-end damage. Anyone with information about the crash is asked to contact Madison area Crime Stoppers.
A Cassville man is dead following a one-vehicle crash in Grant County. Deputies say it happened just before 5 Sunday morning on County Road B, west of Stanton Road. Deputies say 22-year-old Dallas Esser was driving a truck that missed a curve in the road, hit a culvert, and rolled multiple times. Officials say Esser was taken to an area hospital and then med-flighted to Madison, where he passed away from his injuries. He is the 8th person killed in a crash in Grant County this year.
Deputies with the Juneau County Sheriff's Office say they found human remains in what appeared to be a burned-down hunting shed. Deputies were called to Plymouth Township to check on the welfare of a 57-year-old man from Windsor. Deputies say he suffers from mental illness and has not been in contact with family since Friday. The man's family told deputies they spotted his vehicle on their privately owned hunting land. Deputies used a canine to search the hunting land when they noticed what appeared to be a burned-down hunting stand. Human remains were located inside. Deputies believe they belong to the missing man.
A man charged with tampering with a vehicle used by two Wisconsin brothers who are missing and presumed dead in Missouri has waived his right to a hearing to determine whether there is enough evidence for a trial. Brothers Nick and Justin Diemel from Shawano County were on a trip related to their cattle business when they disappeared in July after visiting 25-year-old Garland Nelson. Human remains found on a Missouri farm owned by Nelson have not been identified. The tampering charge stems from allegations that Nelson drove a truck that the brothers rented from his farm to a commuter parking lot where it was found abandoned.
Let's get a look at your first alert weather now. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joining us on the weather patio. Gary?
Well, it's a little humid out here, especially for the middle part of September. Temperatures are in the lower 80s and dew point temperatures are in the 60s. But as you look at visible cloud track, the early morning fog gave way to sunshine for much of the day today, and that'll be the case over the next couple of days. As we look at Doppler track, good news, no rain anywhere around us. We got some rain on Saturday night, but things have been pretty quiet since then. As we take a look at current temperatures, they're in the lower to middle 80s through much of southern Wisconsin. A few places closer to Lake Michigan, cooler in the 60s and 70s, but those dew point temperatures are in the lower to middle 60s. A little humid for the middle part of September. So look for temperatures to drop into the lower 60s by tomorrow morning with areas of fog forming again. We'll turn partly sunny, warm and humid tomorrow. Temperatures very similar to today with a high of 82. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. Sauk Prairie police say they are looking for a man they say is involved in a string of crimes. Officers say earlier this month, property was stolen from unlocked vehicles and garages. On Tuesday, a vehicle stolen from the village of Prairie du Sac was found in Juneau County. And on Thursday, police received a report of 3 men in a white panel van who parked and exited the van in the driveway of a Prairie du Sac home. Officials ask anyone with information regarding those incidents, contact police, and they're reminding residents they should make sure their vehicles, garages, and homes are locked at all times.
Students were evacuated from a McFarland school this morning after a worker hit a gas line. A fleet of buses was prepared to move students from Conrad Elvium Primary School to safety at Wabisa Intermediate School. But the gas was shut off and students were allowed back inside. A TDS subcontractor struck the gas line while installing fiber optic cables.
Edgewood College is planning to lay off some faculty and staff and also reduce the number of majors they are offering, finalizing that plan by mid-November.
This is because of a big decrease in student enrollment, and that's leading to less money coming in. Our Amanda Quintana is live at Edgewood College with the latest. Amanda?
This has been in the works for 2 years now, but at a meeting last Monday, so just a week ago, the interim president told faculty and staff that these changes would be happening more quickly than they expected. She says that by November 15th, they will have a plan sent to the Board of Trustees, and that plan will go to the board for approval. Faculty will then be notified shortly after that. It's still unclear how many employees will lose their jobs. The college needs to be at a 13-to-1 student-faculty ratio by the fall of 2020 to have income and expenses aligned, but student enrollment just keeps decreasing.
It's a big decrease, yes. It's about 30% fewer students. That's a lot.
Over 5 years.
Yes, and if you don't decrease the number of faculty and staff to match that, that's when you get into trouble.
As for the majors, some arts and sciences programs that aren't as popular among students will be cut. But I'm told if a student is currently pursuing that degree, they get to continue, and classes will also continue. These changes are mainly affecting faculty members, but students we spoke to today here say they were mainly confused when they got the email, trying to figure out how this will affect them, and we'll hear more about that at 6 o'clock.
All right, Amanda Quintana live at Edgewood College. Thanks, Amanda.
Governor Tony Evers has created a task force to study issues facing the growing number of retired people in Wisconsin, particularly the amount of money that has been saved by those retirees. The task force is led by Treasurer Sarah Godlewski and includes members of the governor's administration, Republican and Democratic state lawmakers, along with retirees and representatives from the business community, the financial services industry, and organized labor. The task force plans to hold public meetings starting in October to evaluate a number of issues, including the statewide financial impact of Wisconsin's current retirement system, as well as employer-sponsored and individual retirement plans.
When 88% of Wisconsinites do not feel financially prepared for retirement and wish they have saved more, the time to act is now. And so the governor and I look forward to tackling this issue head on and coming up with the best solutions possible to ensure all Wisconsinites can retire in a financially secure manner.
The group plans to release its recommendations in August.
There's a new warning from federal health officials tonight about the potentially harmful effects of contact with backyard poultry.
News 3 Now, Charlotte Deleste joins us now to tell us why. Charlotte?
Eric and Susan, in Wisconsin, it is not unusual for you or your neighbors to be raising chickens in your backyard, but please don't kiss your chicken, snuggle them, or invite them into your home. That is the message from officials from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. They're investigating more than 1,000 cases of salmonella in the last month across 49 states. The outbreak is linked to contact with backyard poultry like chicks and ducklings. Public Health Madison and Dane County says chickens should be kept separate from you or your family.
It's important for people to know that their chickens can carry bacteria that can make them sick. And so they just really need to be careful when they handle their chickens, that they wash their hands afterward, that they don't let their chickens walk where they might eat or drink.
Common symptoms of salmonella include diarrhea, fever, and abdominal cramps, and that can last for 4 to 7 days. The CDC reports that 2 people have died from the salmonella outbreak and 175 people have already been hospitalized.
All right, Charlotte Deleste. Charlotte, thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. The city of Madison is tackling 2 flood mitigation projects right now to help some of the areas hardest hit by flooding. Areas near McKenna Boulevard and Hawks Landing have experienced more significant flooding events in the last 3 to 4 years. That's according to the city's engineering division. Crews began their work at Hawks Landing today, and they'll increase the size of a storm drain to improve flow. Over near McKenna, crews have been hard at work since July, where they're expanding a channel.
That will substantially improve the water level, lower the water level along the private property, and then also in the channel and then on McKenna Boulevard, which is really important for emergency services.
Officials say preventing flooding near McKenna is critical given the placement of a fire station and a police station near Elver Park. Traffic there is currently down to 1 lane. Both projects will wrap up next year.
There's more to come on News 3 Now at 5 up next. How attacks in Saudi Arabia could affect prices at the pump.
And then coming up tonight at 6, we'll take a look at how sound and light therapy is helping women in our area.
And some red numbers to start the week on Wall Street. The Dow trending down 143 points. The Nasdaq lost 23. The S&P off 9. We'll be right back. A firefighter has been killed, several people injured in a massive explosion in Farmington, Maine. It happened this morning at a building that's devoted to enabling people with cognitive and intellectual disabilities. Officials say a propane leak was the cause. 5 firefighters and a maintenance worker have been taken to the hospital. Employees at the center say they smelled propane, evacuated the building, and then called the fire department. The building had recently reopened after a $450,000 rebuild in the spring.
The U.S. is blaming Iran for a drone strike on a Saudi oil facility. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo tweeted, Iran has now launched an unprecedented attack on the world's energy supply. Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels are claiming responsibility for the attack. President Trump tweeted last night, there is reason to believe that we know the culprit are locked and loaded depending on verification. Iran denies any role in the attacks, calling the U.S. claims unacceptable and baseless, but tensions in the region are on the rise. Attacks on those oil facilities are also threatening to send global fuel prices soaring. Analysts for Gas Buddy say we will see an impact at the pump beginning tomorrow. The attacks reportedly cut Saudi Arabia's production capability in half, and if the kingdom is unable to quickly get the facilities back online, drivers will likely pay more at the pump.
Today, we're at about $61 a barrel. If we start inching up towards that $65, $70 mark, we could very well see gas prices increase another 25 cents, even more, depending on that crude price point.
What motorists should do or could do in this case is try to reduce their demand for a week or two. That would make a sizable difference if we could all scale back just a little bit.
A day ago, the national average for gas was $2.56 a gallon. AAA says most consumers will wait until it's much higher before altering their driving habits.
More than 30 General Motors plants are idle today after tens of thousands of United Auto workers walked off the job in 9 states in a nationwide strike. The union and GM failed to reach a new labor deal before the old contract expired at midnight Saturday. Workers are asking for better pay and affordable health care.
First couple of days are like this, and they're pretty exciting. But nobody wants to stay out to the point where it starts creating a financial hardship for not only the members, but the company as well.
GM's proposed deal includes over $7 billion in domestic investment, nearly 5,500 new jobs, and a ratification payment of $8,000 per worker.
Let's get to weather now. Gary is here watching the forecast. It was a warm and humid one today, Gary.
It certainly was. We've had enough rain over the last couple, or almost last week or so, that it has really added to the humidity. You can see the fog this morning on the visible cloud track starting to lift, and then the mid and high level clouds coming in from the west. You can make out the valleys, especially down toward the Wisconsin River, where the fog lingered the longest. But now it's just some mid and high level clouds coming in from the west. Probably see some areas of fog overnight. We had some rain Saturday night into yesterday. The heaviest rains fell over southwestern Wisconsin, where there were some 1 or 2 inch amounts, and then north and east of Madison, little or no rain fell. So it was kind of the haves and the have-nots. Unfortunately, the haves were the areas that didn't need the rain the most. And you can see on Doppler track right now a few sprinkles up in northern Minnesota, but the rest of the upper Midwest is dry. I think we'll be rain-free for the next couple of days, even though the humidity levels will be high. But then we'll see some shower and thunderstorm chances as we head toward the end of the week. Live view from the WISC Skycam showing those cirrus clouds overhead, but plenty of sunshine. The Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison also showing partly sunny skies. As we check out the almanac for today, our high temperature so far 82, the low temperature at 60. So the high temperature 10 degrees above normal, as is the low temperature. And right now our temperature is at 80 degrees. Skies are partly sunny. Winds out of the east-southeast at 6 miles per hour. Dew point temperature 61. That's not as high as it normally is during the summer, but still higher than we normally see it at this time of the year. Temperatures right now are in the middle 80s to the west of us, and closer to Lake Michigan, there's enough of a southeasterly component off the lake to keep temperatures in Milwaukee in the upper 60s, Green Bay in the upper 70s, but we'll see similar temperatures over the next couple of days. The dew point temperatures that are in the lower 60s here are even higher out to the west. Notice the 70-degree plus dew points all the way up into western Minnesota and North Dakota. Those will be moving eastward with time, and that's when there are better chances for showers and thunderstorms to be. Jet stream right now, kind of west to east. It becomes a little more southeasterly off to the east of us. But what's happening is we have some cool air that's moving down the west coast, and that's buckling the jet stream. So the southwesterly winds aloft are starting to pump up warm and humid air through much of the nation's midsection. And as we check out the surface weather map, cold front that came through has now become stationary to our south and then turns into a warm front out to the west of us. On our side of the front, even though we're on the cool side of the front, we're still seeing temperatures around 80 here. But on the other side of that warm front, temperatures are in the upper 80s and lower 90s. Unusual for the middle part of September. And the dew point temperatures are in the lower 70s all the way up into parts of western Minnesota and North Dakota. Now, as we look at future track, the warm and humid weather will continue. The best chances of rain will stay to the north, at least over the next couple of days. But as we start heading into late Wednesday and Wednesday night, we could see some showers and thunderstorms. The better chances, I think, will probably arrive sometime on Thursday as a weak cold front comes through, then probably stalls out and then moves back northward as a warm front. So our forecast calls for skies to be mostly or partly cloudy for tonight with areas of fog, low temperature at 62. Tomorrow, look for a partly sunny, warm and humid day with a high temperature about the same as today at 82. Future track, partly cloudy skies overnight, some areas of fog forming, lows in the lower 60s. The fog lifts, skies turn partly sunny tomorrow with highs in the lower 80s. Tomorrow night, low temperatures in the middle 60s, and look for high temperatures in the lower 80s for Wednesday with a shower or thunderstorm chance Wednesday night into Thursday. Friday, just a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm. Best chances of rain will be Saturday. Then after that, look for showers and storms to end on Sunday morning. That'll be followed by slightly cooler and less humid weather for much of next week. As we take a look at first alert traffic, here's the view on the on East Washington Avenue looking toward the Capitol. You can see traffic in the southbound direction a little heavier. Otherwise, look for some delays on the eastbound belt line from around Monona Drive back to Fish Hatchery Road. Westbound delays from Fish Hatchery Road to John Nolan Drive. Right now, a 23-minute commute on the eastbound belt line from University Avenue to the interstate, 17 minutes back in the westbound direction. Heading down to Janesville, 27 minutes from the belt line to Janesville on I-3990. 30 minutes to Sauk City on US 12, some delays there, and 18 minutes to Sun Prairie on US 151. That's your News 3 Now for Slur Traffic.
All right, thanks, Gary.
Still ahead of News 3 Now at 5. Researchers are studying flavored e-cigarettes. What warnings they have, that's coming up next.
News
President Trump hosted iconic Yankees pitcher Mariano Rivera at the White House today. With Rivera's family in attendance, President Trump awarded him the Medal of Freedom. A native of Panama, now a naturalized U.S. citizen, Rivera played for the Yankees for his entire 19-year career. Also, the first baseball player in history to be unanimously voted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Concerns about the safety of e-cigarettes are increasing as hundreds of cases of lung disease related to vaping are under investigation.
Now, more research is looking at the possible health impacts related to using flavored e-cigarettes. Mark Liverman has more.
Scientists from Yale's School of Medicine are getting the word out about their research on flavored e-cigarettes. Their findings show chemical reactions between the flavor compounds and the liquid nicotine in vaping products.
So what is being added by the manufacturer is not actually the chemical compounds that the users are being exposed to. There are chemical reactions happening in the liquid.
Researchers at Yale showed us the custom vaping machine they built to analyze the chemical makeup of flavors.
Many of these chemicals are known to be inflammatory agents, are known to have toxic effects, but we still have to determine things like what concentration and dose do these inflammatory effects appear.
Researchers say flavors are a big worry because they attract children and teens to start vaping. The Trump administration is moving to ban the sale of flavored e-cigarettes, and many states, including New York, are taking their own steps. Adding to concerns, a new study from researchers at Duke Health. It shows a flavoring ingredient that can potentially cause cancer is found in high levels of e-cigarette liquids and smokeless tobacco products. The chemical called pulegone is in menthol and mint products.
This is really a big health concern for the vapors because they're putting this chemical in much higher levels than what is accepted by FDA.
The FDA banned the chemical as a food additive last year. Mark Liverman, CBS News, New York.
Stay with us. We'll have a final check of your forecast in just a moment.
Tonight on the CBS Evening News, heightened tensions with Iran and how the attacks on Saudi oil facilities could drive up the price of gas at the pump. Eye on Earth, our new series on climate change, examines an urgent threat to marine life in the world's largest ocean. Why scientists are worried. And why thousands of football fans created a sea of pink in support of their opponent. It's an inspiring story tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Finally tonight, a California company is working on an out-of-this-world experience. The Gateway Foundation has just released plans for a hotel in space.
It's called the Von Braun Station. It is a cruise ship-style hotel. Company wants to get it off the ground by 2025 with plans to make it fully operational by the year 2027. So what's inside? Cozy suites, chic bars, and fun recreational activities for guests as well. Architects say because of the weightlessness and reduced gravity, you'll also be able to do things you couldn't do on Earth. We'll see if that really happens.
Yes, exactly.
Usually we say this, that they're in the works, and we never hear from them again. They're gone. All right, Gary, final check of the forecast.
Well, things are pretty humid out there, especially for the middle part of September. But the good news is no rain around here, and it looks like we'll stay rain-free through Wednesday. Current temperatures, 80 in Madison, lower 80s to our west, even some mid-80s near the Mississippi River, but cooler toward Lake Michigan. Temperatures there, upper 60s. Dew point temperatures in the lower 60s, so it is a little sticky out there. Maybe some fog tonight.
Well, Gary, thanks. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6.